3.2g. So, let's say we have cosine of x over 1 minus sine of x equals cosecant of x plus 1 over cosecant of x. Okay? All right, how am I going to figure this out? Well, see how there is a plus sign in the numerator. Up here, there's a plus sign. Down here, there's a minus sign. Here, there's no plus or minus. Here, there's no plus or minus. Okay? So when I see something like that, I got to think in my mind conjugate. Because conjugate pairs are a way to get rid of plus signs and minus signs where you don't want it. So, what's a conjugate pair of 1 minus sine of x? The conjugate pair of 1 minus sine of x is 1 plus sine of x. All right, so you have cosine, and I'm going to leave it factored out for now, just because I know what's going on with this one. What's 1 minus sine times 1 plus sine? 1 times 1 is 1. Outers and inners in conjugate pairs always cancel. What's sine times sine? Sine squared of x. What's 1 minus sine squared of x equal to? Cosine of x, right? All right, so now all of a sudden, instead of having a minus sign on the bottom and a plus sign on the top over here, all of a sudden I have plus sign on the top over here, plus sign on the top over here. So I must be close. So what I have to do next is say, maybe I can cancel a cosine here with one of these. And now I'm at 1 plus sine of x over cosine of x. Oh, I screwed up. I wrote it wrong. Oh, don't get all freaked out on me. There should have been cotangent of x on the bottom over here. Sorry. Not a big deal. Now, how does cosine relate to cotangent? What is cotangent in terms of cosines and sines? Cosine over sine, right? So to change this bottom into a cotangent, I could multiply this by 1 over sine of x, right? Whatever you do to the bottom, you always have to do to the top as well. Multiply that by 1 over sine of x. If we do that, I get 1 over sine of x plus sine of x over sine of x all over cosine of x over sine of x equals cosecant of x plus 1 over cotangent of x. Well, what's 1 over sine? Cosecant of x. What's sine over sine? 1. What's cosine over sine? Cotangent. Bada bing, bada boom. We're there. I know, Abby Palmquist, that makes you so excited. What can't you see? Okay. Well, you knew the answer all the way along. After I changed it, of course. Let's do another one that's somewhat similar to that. That was ridiculous? Okay. All right. When you see something like this, I have a minus on the top, minus on the bottom. I look at this and say, well, what would that be equal to, or what would that be equal to? And all of a sudden I see this and I go, I know what that is. I've seen something like that before. What would secant squared of x minus 1 be? Tangent squared of x. So this is really secant of x minus 1 over tangent squared of x on this side. So I need a minus sign on the top. I have a plus sign on the bottom. So what does that basically tell me at the start of the problem? I have to multiply it by its conjugate. What's the conjugate of cosine of x plus 1? Cosine of x minus 1. So if I FOIL on the bottom, I'll leave the top separated for now. If I FOIL on the bottom, I get cosine squared of x minus 1. What's cosine squared of x minus 1 equal to? Sine squared of x. Okay, so I said a little earlier, I want to see if I can get that into tangent squared of x on the bottom. How does sine squared of x relate to tangent squared of x? Sine over cosine is tangent. So sine squared over cosine squared would be tangent, right? So maybe I should multiply the top and bottom of this by 1 over cosine squared of x. What that does is a cosine from here cancels with the cosine of here, and I have 1 over cosine of x times cosine of x minus 1 all over sine squared of x over cosine squared of x. So if I distribute on the top, I get cosine of x over cosine of x minus 1 over cosine of x equals, I think there's something that I did maybe wrong on this, but whatever. When I set it up, I might have written something wrong. Don't know why I wrote it wrong, but I must have. Okay. All right. So, what's cosine of x over cosine of x? What's 1 over cosine of x? Over tangent squared of x equals secant squared of x minus 1, right? So somewhere I just wrote a bad problem because I have a sign error. I screwed up the sign when I probably originally wrote the problem, or it should have been 1 minus secant when I originally wrote the problem and I wrote it wrong. But that's the basics of what you do. You want one more, or should we call it good for today? All right. So your assignment is on page 172, the last assignment over this stuff. We are going to do number 58 and 61 and 63. See if you can handle those three problems. Monday, we'll go over those three. Monday, I'll walk around and grade A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the problems so I can put grades in the grade book. We will enjoy pies. They can be homemade or bought. They can be as simple as oatmeal cream pies. They can be a pizza pie. They can be a moon pie. Kind of like Weebs and Mold Day, when she had hot tamales and things like that. If you can relate it to pie and it's food, we're good. We don't have Mallory in here, so we don't have to. Ooh. Dang it. So we got to be careful with the nuts. She has a severe peanut butter allergy. So if you do bring peanut butter pie, we'll just move Mallory to the office or something. Yeah. So there you go.